So, being from the hood, projects, however you want to call it, how is it possible that I can relate to Elvis Presley? Well, it all depends on how you look at it, but I'm going to tell you how I look at it. If you go look at Elvis Presley, post-Army, or even a little bit before he even went to the Army, or you can jump right into the 60s or jump right into the 70s. If you just look at that alone, what you see at the shows, what you see on the little films, you see a flashy young man, a bunch of cars, lots of women, fancy wardrobe. You know what I mean? Nice house. Shit, you are the gated community. You know what I'm saying? But if you look straight at that, you would think it's impossible to sit here and relate to this man. How could you relate to this rich motherfucker here? But that's not the case. You got to go from the very beginning. And if you go from the very, very, very beginning, the very beginning itself, he didn't have that. That wasn't his life from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? He didn't, he wasn't born into this mansion. He worked for that mansion. He grew up in a fucked up situation, like on some real shit. And my situation wasn't just the absolute worst, like no way, shape, form, nor fashion. But, I made the best out of my situation, and I had a mom who gave a fuck about me to make sure that even though we don't live in no mansion, we don't live in, I have a two-story house, three-story house, whatever the case may be. I got clothes on my back, I'm eating, I'm safe, you know what I mean? And Elvis alone, he has some loving parents. You know what I mean? He has some loving parents to make sure that he was taken care of. You know what I'm saying? They made sure that, alright, we might not even have a toilet in this motherfucker probably, but you alright. You gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? You gonna make it. And indeed, he made it. But like I said, it just depends on how you want to look at it. And another way I relate to Elvis is... one thing about me that a lot of people don't know is, I have anxiety, I suffer from depression, shit like that. Sometimes, I can't even go say sometimes, a lot of times, I feel overwhelmed with the amount of shit that I have to put up with, and the amount of people who are counting on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm Elvis Presley, and I have my own Memphis Mafia. You know what I'm saying? I have my own, I don't even want to call them leeches, but just for the sake of argument, I'll call them leeches. You know what I mean? I have my own demons to deal with. And sometimes that shit gets overwhelming. It gets real overwhelming. And it can put you in a dark place. Sometimes I'm a little moody. Sometimes I could be a little snappy, things like that. But it's just like, because people don't understand the amount of shit that I have on my goddamn plate. And that shit is, it's a struggle. Because when people don't have the same burdens as you, you know what I mean? Some people can understand, if they don't have the same burden as you. And that's because they are understanding people, you know what I mean? Those people have common sense, I would say, or some type of compassion to understand, like, alright, yeah, he is actually dealing with some shit right now, so, he ain't just fucking crazy as hell, like, there's real life going on around his goddamn streets, you know what I'm saying? But, most definitely, that's a thing that I definitely relate to Elvis when it comes to certain things. It's just, when you got that load on you, man, that shit takes a toll. That shit takes a toll. Like, you don't want to be fun and games, but you gotta be like 20% fun and the rest is all business, just because, like, It just is what it is. And the other people, they have about 99.9%, you know what I'm saying, of the fun. And other people, you know, the other person, the Elvis on the end, they have like a whole bunch of shit they have to worry about. He's feeding so many mouths. He's keeping so many rules over so many heads. I mean, man. And then let's not even talk about the generosity alone. You know what I'm saying? When I was coming up and doing certain things, when I had an abundance of money, 80% or 85% of my income went to the homeless on the streets, went to people who had actual shit that they needed. Like, I was buying Similac for motherfuckers before I even had my own damn kids. And later on in life, when I went homeless, you know what I'm saying? For all the people I had helped, I didn't see not one motherfucker. You know what I mean? And like I say, people just don't understand these burdens that us have. So I feel where he's coming from on that darkness. Like, when he's doing certain interviews and I'm just watching him and I'm just like, yeah, today's not a good day for this man. You know what I mean? And I could watch certain, I could look at certain one of my reactions, you know what I'm saying, and be like, oh yeah, because I could just look in my eyes and be like, yeah, I must have been having a fucked up day that day. Because I could just tell that I'm off, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I try to stay off of the internet when I'm feeling like that, because a lot of people can't tell, but I definitely could tell, you know what I'm saying? I just pick up on vibes like that from other people, and I could just see it in my own eyes, you know what I'm saying? And you can see it in Elvis' eyes, you can hear it in his voice if you pay attention. So those are some ways that I relate to Elvis Presley. I love this topic right here. I love this topic. Does it matter to me that Elvis Presley does not write his own music? Well, let me put it to you like this. I'm a hell of a cooker. I'm a hell of a blunt roller. I'm a hell of a lot of things. I can cook a real good steak. But I bet you I didn't butcher that motherfucking cow to get that steak. I roll some nice blunts. I didn't even grow the weed. It don't matter where the product comes from. How can you deliver this product? There's all types of people out here who can't cook. So just because you go get you a nice ass steak, you got all the seasonings and oils and butters and olive oil, whatever the fuck you want to do, it don't mean shit. Because when it's time to perform, put that shit together, how is you coming? Yeah. When you gotta really sit here and now put that steak together, you know what I'm saying? When you gotta put that steak together, it got to be on point. It's just not gonna do it itself. So when Elvis Presley takes a song, you know, and does something special with it, for example, we can just do the obvious. Sweet Caroline, right? I love Neil Diamond. I love you, Neil. I love Neil Diamond. That's a hell of a song to write. That's a hell of a song to write. I bullshit you not. I couldn't have wrote that. I couldn't have wrote it no better than Neil Diamond. But when it came to performing it, when it came to bringing that shit to life, Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley. Elvis. For real. Elvis did that, not Neil Diamond. He did the butchering and all of that. And just to me, he gave it life. He gave it life in the studio. He gave it life on the stage. You go sit here and watch a Neil Diamond performance of Sweet Caroline, and you go watch an Elvis Presley performance of Sweet Caroline. Or you could just go listen to it. There's levels to this shit. But without the butchering, Neil Diamond, we couldn't even get the finishing product. We couldn't even get the finishing product. You gotta have the Neil to get that product right there. Period, point blank. You gotta have that Neil, you know what I'm saying, to get that product. So, does it bother me? Hell nah. Because I'm kind of glad that he don't write that shit. Because imagine if Elvis wrote all them songs. Imagine if Elvis wrote all those songs, perform how he's performing, and, you know what I'm saying, does the shit he does on the side with the generosity and all that. It would really be hard to debate who the fuck the GOAT is. And I know a lot of y'all was like, ain't no debating now. Well, you know, everybody got their opinion and everything like that. I'm the GOAT if you ask me, but that's just another story. But that would be some scary shit if Elvis wrote those songs. Like, that'd be some scary shit. I'm telling you now. That'd be some scary shit. For a person to be that goddamn talented, man. I don't give a fuck who wrote the songs. Look what the fuck that man did. That's what you worry about. Straight like that. So, my thoughts on Elvis Presley. After I started listening to him, I'm gonna have to be real, man. I've been hooked ever since. I have been hooked ever since. And it's funny when you think about it, because you listen to all these artists for years and you just don't know that you are missing a great catalog of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went years on not listening to this man's music. How the fuck is that possible? I went years, you know what I'm saying, without listening to this man's music. I did not know the things that he's capable of doing with that voice. I didn't know that was possible, especially from a man like him. Fuck a man like him, a white man. And then you get to learn about this so-called white man, and you realize he was more than a nigga than half these niggas out here. And that's to be honest with you. Like, I vibe with this man more than I can vibe with certain other artists. And that's just my personal, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. But my thoughts on him, after listening to him, I was just amazed. I mean, I love all genres of music. So to sit here and get, you want some gospel? You want some country? You want some of that soul music? You want some shit that's gonna make you get up and dance? I mean, you want some funeral songs, some breakup tunes? I mean, what do you want? You want some shit talking in the middle of a song? What you want? Like, this man has it all. So my thoughts on after listening to him was like, wow. I'm kind of surprised I really didn't hear more about Elvis Presley when I was growing up, to be honest with you. Because I'm still finding tunes till this day, you know what I'm saying, that will have you put them on repeat time after time after time after time after time. So, yeah, I don't have nothing negative to say about this man, but the music is fantastic. The voice, like, just to be able to have the control on the voice, that, like, the control he has on his voice is just amazing by itself. You know what I'm saying? High, low, soft, go right back up to high without missing a beat, all in the same measure. That's hard to do. I'm no singer, but I used to run a studio, so I know a thing or two, you know what I'm saying? And that man is not playing. Like, that man is just not playing. That's just how I see it. So the first time that I I guess you can kind of say, well, I guess it's safe to say the first time I heard about Elvis Presley was, I knew what the name was. I believe I knew what the name was. I'm not sure. But the day that I recall was, it had to be like in around like, maybe like 90, maybe like 98, 1998, maybe something like that. I remember going to sleep, and I always fall asleep with my TV on. I always fall asleep with my TV on. You know what I'm saying? So, and usually when I wake up in the middle of the night or whatever the case is, my TV would be like on BET Uncut or some shit like that, like BET but after hours, so you got just hella ass shaking or whatever just on the TV and whatnot. So it's like waking up to a great surprise, like, well, good morning to me, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But this particular night, I was watching a movie. I don't recall what it was, but it was on a different channel. We're not on BET right now. So when I woke up, you know, all I hear is like this awkward ass voice coming from the TV. You know what I'm saying? And some dude was talking about, and there was a picture. Like, I didn't know it was Elvis at first, but all you hear, like, the dude is talking. All you hear him, he was saying something like, and yeah, it was around these times in his life, he was obese and didn't like his weight and didn't want to come out in the public. And then there was like a picture of Elvis in the back seat of a limousine. You know what I'm saying? And from what I know now, that's probably like 76, 77, maybe 77 itself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have to say that's the first time I heard about Elvis Presley, and it was off of a negative motherfucking comment. You know what I'm saying? At a young age, and then I just turned the TV off and went back to sleep, and that's it. You know, one thing that I think Elvis did wrong, if my opinion, one thing that Elvis did wrong was giving a fuck. That man been stabbed more times in the back than I don't know who. And if he never would have gave a fuck about certain things, he would never been in position to have been stabbed in the back. So if I could sit here and give him one piece of advice, I would tell him, fuck everybody. Do what you want to do. You get one shot at this motherfucking life. And when your shot is up, was up, you had a shitload of people still out here living theirs. And still trying to live it off of you. Fuck these people. Fuck these people. Don't give a fuck about what nobody got. Yeah, what they going through. Like, that generosity fucked you up. That generosity fucked you up. Because I didn't see half the people being generous back to you. Not even half of them. So my thoughts on Elvis Presley before I started listening to him. My thoughts on Elvis Presley before I started listening to him. Honestly, I really didn't have no thoughts about Elvis Presley. You know what I'm saying? I was a Michael Jackson fan. I mean, I still am a Michael Jackson fan. So my world was Michael Jackson and not Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley wasn't a thing where I come from. You know what I'm saying? I come from the city, you know what I'm saying? Sacramento, California to be exact, the south side. Really not a lot of Elvis Presley things going on around them parts, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, my thoughts about him, you know, it was what it was. But I will say, like, up when I got grown and up until like when I did my very first reaction to this man, my thoughts on that shit beforehand was like all right, you got this white guy, blue suede shoes. That's what I knew about him. And or hound dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You know what I'm saying? That's what you know. And you really don't know it's Elvis Presley till you really like find out what the hound dog shit is. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I knew about him. Well, yeah, that's what I thought about him. He was just fucking the hound dog man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing but a hound dog, motherfucker. Hounding all the time. You know what I mean? That's what my honest thoughts was about this man. That's what he is. You know what I'm saying? And you always get the people, like when you go check out certain music, you know, people always want to have this king debate. Who's the king? And Elvis is the king, and no, Michael Jackson is the king. And me personally, I'm like, ain't no fucking, this dude is white, number one. Ain't no way he's a fucking king of anything. But just check this out. Until you hear that motherfucking music, you'll realize that dude got a crown. Dude does have a crown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I spoke way too soon. You know what I'm saying? Judgment is what I was on. Judgment. And you can never judge a book by its motherfucking cover. You cannot do that. That's one thing I did. And hey, it is what it is, man. Like, Elvis is not to be fucked with, if you ask me. John Travolta, that's my boy right there. That's my boy right there. And if you know anything about me, Grease is one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you this. When I found out about Elvis, I always wondered what Elvis would have did in that Grease role, you know. Elvis and the T-Birds, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder, Elvis Grease Lightning, I wonder, I just wonder. So that's one thing I know for a fact. I would have like to see him in, you know what I'm saying? But I can't be mad at my John Travolta in that he did an excellent job up in that movie right there.